Hello and welcome to Lesson 7.9, Subtraction of Positive and Negative Numbers. Our sabbat for today is that students will be able to add and subtract positive and negative numbers. The materials you will need for this lesson include your math journal, a pencil, whiteboard, and a marker. I'm going to have you start by opening up your math journal to page 240. It says subtraction problems at the top. Hopefully you have a handle on how to add positive and negative numbers by now. So today we're going to talk about subtracting. So the top of page 240 asks us to rewrite each subtraction problem as an addition problem, then solve it. So they sort of give us an example for the first one. 100 minus 45 is the same thing as 100 plus negative 45. So think to yourself, what do you have to add to 45 to get to 100? Hopefully you said 55, and therefore your answer should be 55. Let's look at number 2. Negative 100 minus 45. The way the guy showed us in the video last time, he said to kind of put those parentheses around each of the numbers, so I'm going to do that here. So we need to rewrite it as an addition problem, so I'm going to write down negative 100, and then it's like I'm adding a negative 45. So the problem is very similar to question 1, except I'm adding two negatives. Well, I know when I'm adding two negatives, my answer is going to be negative, so it's the same thing as adding two positives, except it's adding two negatives. So 100 plus 45 is 145. Negative 100 plus negative 45 is negative 145. Moving on, question 3. 160 minus negative 80. Just like in the video, that man told us that when you have two negatives next to each other, they come together to make a positive. So it's like I imagine those two lines matching up together to make a positive, and then it's gone. So really this question is very easy. 160 plus 80. Go ahead and add those numbers. You can check your answer with me. I'm going to walk us through number 4 again, and then I'm going to have you pause the video, and I'd like you to try questions 5 through 8 alone. Okay? So again, with number 4, 9 minus negative 2. The negative and the subtraction sign are next to each other, so they're going to come together to make addition sign. The other one goes away, so this problem is simply 9 plus 2, which you all learned how to do in, I don't know, first grade? So your answer should be 11. Again, pause the video and check in with me. If nothing else, you should be able to turn the turn the subtraction problem into an addition problem. Aha! You'll notice I purposely did not answer questions 5 through 8. I wanted to first have you check to make sure that your addition problems are the same as mine. So let's start with number 5. Negative 15 plus 30. Number 6 should have been 8 plus negative 10. Number 7 should have been negative 20 plus 7. And number 8 should have been 0 plus 6 and 1/10. So I'm going to start by looking at these, and actually number 8 is the easiest question for me to solve. Any number plus 0 is just that number, so I know my answer is going to be 6.1. And then the other ones are kind of pretty much, you need to kind of remember the video that I had showed you earlier about adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers. Remember in that video, the man said to think of positive numbers just like dogs and negative numbers to be like cats. So for the example of number 5, you have 30 dogs and 15 cats. Well, 15 of those dogs will run off with 15 of those cats. So the cats are gone and we're left with 15 dogs. So that's why it's positive. Remember, he said that dogs are positive and cats are negative. I would tend to disagree, but for the point of the video, I think that helps. Now let's look at this next one, number 6. I'm going to actually start by having you look at the two numbers, 8 plus negative 10. Which number is greater? I mean, which is a bigger amount? Well, negative is, right? 10 is more than 8, so I know my answer is going to be negative. And then all I have to do is subtract these two numbers. 10 minus 8, easy enough. So my answer is negative 2. Same with number 7. Which number do I have more of? Do I have more negatives or do I have more positives? I have more negatives, so my answer is going to be negative, and then I simply have to just subtract the two numbers. 20 minus 17 I know is 13, so my answer for number 7 is negative 13. And we've solved questions 1 through 8. Let's go on to questions 9 and 10, and then I'll be ready to give you your study link. Number 9. The Healthy Delights Candy Company specializes in candy that is wholesome. Unfortunately, they have been losing money for several years. During the year 2006, they lost $12 million, ending the year with a total debt of $23 million. A. What was Healthy Delight's total debt at the beginning of 2006? All right, I have to go through and kind of underline my important stuff. So they've been losing money for several years. So during the year 2006, they lost $12 million, ending the year with a total debt of $23 million. Okay, so the total debt at the beginning of 2006, well, it actually doesn't give us the number because it says at the end they were left with $23 million, but they lost 12 million throughout the year. So it looks like we need to find the difference between these numbers. So go ahead and subtract that out. So their debt at the beginning of 2006 wasn't $11, it was $11 million. Let's go on to number B. Write a number model that fits this problem. So I think they are looking for us to write an addition or a subtraction problem. So, okay, so they started, well here, we have the answer here. So they started the year 11 million in debt. So that's negative 11, right? So 11 million in debt, and they lost 12 million throughout the year. So they're left with $23 million of debt. So what they're saying is, if you look at the problem, negative of 11 minus 12 equals negative 23. If you think about it, I'm going to change my color. Ooh. Here, I'm going to change my color here. Sorry for the distraction. Look at it. Oh, dang it. I guess I didn't change my color. So, but think about it. I've got negative 11, so it's like I have 11 cats, and I add 12 more cats. I have 23 cats total. So, anyway, you did not need to add in those subtractions, or I mean, sorry, those parentheses. Okay, moving on. Number 10. In 2007, Healthy Delights is expecting to lose $8 million. What will Healthy Delights' total debt be at the end of 2007? I'm going to work backwards on this one because it asks us to write a number model that fits this problem again. So remember, at the end of the year, it tells us in the problem here, their total debt was $23 million. So they started with $23 million at the very beginning of 2007, and it said they lost $8 million. So of course that means we're subtracting $8 million, or you might say adding negative $8 million, and now we got to figure out the answer to that. So negative 23 minus 8. So I'm going to kind of do that off to the side here. Negative 23, and when you subtract a negative number, it's just like adding a negative number. So really, I'm going to add these two, and I should get my answer, which will be negative. So 8 plus 3 we know is 11. So 31. So they're $31 million in debt. So to complete our number sentence, we have negative 31. But then, of course, how much debt do they have? They're in debt $31 million. Yeah, you won't have a question like these on the study link. I just thought it was good to get you thinking about word problems. I am going to show you the study link now, but before I do, I actually want you to get it because I'm going to help you through one of the problems. So go get a study link from me, come back, Hopefully you paused it. I forgot to tell you to do that. Anyway, here's what the study link looks like. I'm not going to help you through questions 1 through 10. Those are pretty self-explanatory, but what I wanted to focus on was question 11 for you. That one is just really convoluted. Basically, all they're asking you to do is to, well, here, I'll read the directions and then I'll kind of help you through it. For each temperature change in the column, 2 number models are shown in the temperature after change column. Only one of the number models is correct. Cross out the incorrect number model, then complete the correct number model. So let me help you through this because that's really confusing. So temperature before change, the first one says it was 40 degrees and then it went up 7. So they're asking us which one of these 2 equations is correct. Is it 40 plus 7 or is it 40 plus negative 7? Well, what the heck? It's not 40 plus negative. It's not going down 7 degrees. It's going up 7 degrees. So I cross out the second one, but now all I have to do is just add the first. So 40 plus 7, of course, you know, is 47. All right, done with the first part of question 11. Second one, temperature before change was 10 degrees. It went down 8. So remember, you got to look at this. It says, the first equation says 10 minus negative 8, which is the same thing as 10 plus 8. So really, that's like 10 degrees, but up 8 more. So that's not correct. The correct one would be 10 minus 8. And please tell me you know that answer. All right, next one. Negative 15 degrees, or this, it means like 15 degrees below 0. And it went up 10 degrees. So think about it. Is the correct equation negative 15 plus 10? Or is it 15 plus 10? Cross out the one that you know is incorrect. Hopefully we crossed out the same one. Now, all you have to do is solve that. Negative 15 plus 10. Well, there's more negatives than there are positives, so my answer is going to be negative. And because I'm just adding them, but one is negative and one is positive, all I have to do is subtract those numbers. So my answer is negative 5. It's a difference of negative 5. Last one in question 11 is negative 20 degrees, which is 20 degrees below 0, and it went down 10. So you got to take a look at the equations. Negative 20 minus 10, well, that makes sense. The second one says 20 minus negative 10. No, because it started at negative 20. So the first equation is the correct one. Put the parentheses around it to help yourself. So really, you've got negative 20 plus negative 10. Well, they're both negatives, and you're adding them. So negative 20 plus negative 10 is simply negative 30. Okay. So the rest of this study link, so questions 1 through 10, you just need to fill in the blanks. Please show your work. Maybe do it on the back. That way if you don't get it right, you can kind of figure out where you went wrong. And then, of course, questions 12 through 15, you do have to solve for each variable. Good luck.